Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. My name is Miss Sri and I'll be taking over Miss Zora's class while she's on leave. So I'm gonna teach you the topic measuring non-adherence today. I'm sure you've done the first topic, which is types of non-adherence and reasons why people do not adhere. So, and I'm sure you have discussed what are the problems that can occur when someone do not adhere. Okay, so in order to tackle this issue, we need to first know how to measure non-adherence, and these are some of the methods you can use to measure non-adherence. So the first one is self-report. So basically, simply asking the patient if they have been taking their pills. You can see if they have gotten better. If they have, that means they have been taking their pills. The third one is by asking the doctors itself whether they think the patient has been adhering. Pill and bottle counts is basically asking your patients to bring their tablets to their next appointment so we can measure how many pills are left. Okay, so this will tell you whether they have been eating it or not. The fifth method is mechanical methods. We don't have this in Brunei yet, where you can record how many times the pill bottle has been opened in a day. Okay, we will talk more about that later or in the next video. And the sixth method is the biochemical test. So basically taking their blood and urine sample to see the traces of medicine in those sample. Okay, so this is your second topic under adherence to medical advice, which is measuring non-adherence. And under measuring non-adherence, there will be 4 subtopics: subjective, objective, biochemical tests, and repeat prescription. So in paper 3, when you are writing the descriptive essays, you'll be writing a total of 4 paragraphs. So each paragraph for each method. Okay, so today in this video only focus on subjective and objective first. Okay, self-report. So what is self-report? So self-report can be in the form of interview or questionnaire. So this is the easiest method. So basically just simply asking the patient if they have been adhering. Okay. So in their next appointment, so the doctor asks, have you been taking your medicine? Now already we can see a problem with this answer. So we don't know if he's saying the truth or whether there's a social desirability bias in there. Okay. So he doesn't want to be scolded at. So he lies. Okay. Now, Riekard and Reuter wanted to examine the implication of non-participation in studies using self-report measures. Okay, so basically, obviously, when someone is being interviewed or answering questionnaires, the participant is giving their consent. Okay, so they can say yes or no whether they want to participate or not. Now, for those who are less likely to adhere, do you think they would want to participate in the study? I don't think so. So they are less likely to participate, so which means the participants in these kind of studies that includes self-report are mostly those that are adhere. It's the same with volunteer sampling. Who who are the most likely participant in a volunteer sampling? Those who are helpful. Okay, so here is the same. Who are most likely to participate in the self-report interview or questionnaire about adherence? Those who would adhere. Okay, so it was felt that those patients who chose not to be involved with research might actually show less adherence than those who did agree to take part. So in this kind of studies, only those who are most likely to adhere will participate. So there's already a bias in this research. Okay, so which means they will show a high adherence level because all the participants are those who are more likely to adhere. Okay, so who are the participants here? So it's adolescents with diabetes for more than 1 year, age 11 to 18, living with at least one parent. So altogether, 94 families were approached. So what was the procedure? The adolescent completed an adherence interview immediately after the appointment at the clinic, while the parents completed a demographic questionnaire. So the patient is being interviewed while the parents answer some questionnaire. And then, both the adolescent and parent were given a further questionnaire to be completed at home with a self-addressed return envelope. If the questionnaires were not returned within 10 days of the interview, the family was called once to remind them. Okay? So for those who are less likely to adhere, they will not likely to return the envelope. I think I am one of those people. Okay. Um, Medical records were reviewed for each of the participants to gain information about the number of blood sugar tests taken per day as a measure of their adherence to medical requests. Now, for those with diabetes, they get checked a lot in terms of blood sugar because they can't digest sugar, so they would have a higher level of sugar in their blood. So if there's a high level of sugar in the blood, that means they have not been eating their pills. Okay, they have not been adhering to the diet. Okay, so this is a way to check whether they were telling the truth here. Okay, so let's say they adhere, but their medical records say that they have not been adhering. Okay, so which means they were lying here. Okay, so out of the 94 families, 14 did not want to take part. Okay, they didn't give their consent, they didn't do the interview, they didn't do the questionnaire, so there was no follow-up self-report questionnaire. Okay, so these are the people who are most likely to not adhere. Okay, so out of 94, only 80 gave consent. Okay, so out of that 80, 52 were returners where they consented. They took part in the interview, the parents completed the questionnaire, and they returned the follow-up self-report request. Self-report questionnaire. 28 out of those 80 consented to participate in the study, took part in the interview. The parents completed the questionnaire, but they did not return the follow-up questionnaire. So, they found significant differences in adherence levels between participants and non-returners. So remember that they did this interview, the adherence interview. In that interview, they found that these returners had higher level compared to these non-returners in terms of adherence level measured by that interview. Those who returned the questionnaire, so the returners, had higher adherence scores and tested blood sugar more frequently than non-returners. So these are the people who are less likely to adhere. Okay, so these people are those who would adhere. So it's true. If they consent to the study, they do a follow up. These are the people who are most likely to adhere. So what does that say? Oh, it doesn't say anything here. So which means that it's true that those who participate in this kind of studies are those who adhere. Okay, so there suggests a bias in participants when it comes to self-reports as a measure of non-adherence. Okay, so we can tell that self-report is a big no when it comes to measuring self-report because one, there is a bias in the participant. Okay, a bias in the sample, so we are most likely only going to study those who adhere. Two, there is a high likelihood of there's less validity because in terms of self-reports they might lie. Okay, so that's self-reports. Next one is objective pill counting by Chung and Naya. Now, during clinical visits, health professionals are trained to count the number of tablets left in a pill bottle and to advise the patient about adherence if the patient missed dosages based on the expected number of pills compared with those remaining. These are also electronic measures such as TrackCap. Okay, I will talk more about TrackCap later. So basically, in this kind of measurement, so let's say the doctors give the patients, let's say 20 pills, yeah, 20 pills, and to be eaten twice a day. Okay, so in a week, let's say after a week, they are supposed to meet the doctor again for an appointment. So 7 times 2, so which means they should have taken 14 pills that week, right? So at the end of during the appointment, there should be only 6 left because the doctor gave 20 pills, and they are to be eaten twice a day in a week, so that is a total of 14, so there should be 6 pills left at the appointment. Okay, so this will tell you whether they've been adhering or not. If they're 6, that means they've been eating it. Okay, now how can you measure adherence for prescribed asthma medication? Okay, so for some asthma patients, they are to take pills regularly, while there's also they are also given inhaler. But how can you measure inhaler? So one way is by using weight. So what is the weight during when they give the inhaler, and what is the weight at the next appointment? So there should be less, okay? Because if they've taken it, it should weigh less, okay? Now, Chung and Aya were the first to electronically assess adherence with an oral asthma medication, aimed to see if patients did take their medication regularly and at the correct time of the day. So, who are the participants? 57 asthmatic patients, mix of both gender. The procedure, they begins initial screening of 3 weeks to find out if patients were suitable candidates for the asthma therapy. After the 3 weeks, it was followed by a 12-week treatment period during which patients were instructed to take their medication twice a day. At the start of the treatment, they were given 3 weeks worth of medication. So 3 weeks, so that is 21, right? 21. Is that 21 days? Yeah, 21 days. And they are to take the medication twice a day. So in 3 weeks, they should eat 21 times 2, 42. Okay, 42 pills with 1 week supply. So that 1 week supply is 14, so 42 plus 14, 56 tablets altogether. Tablets were dispensed in the screw top bottles like this, fitted with a track cap monitoring device, which is a device on the bottle top that records the date here. If they check it, connect it to a computer, it can see when the bottle was open and closed, at what time and what day. Okay. So if they have been adhering, the bottle will be opened twice a day. Okay. Each participant was told take 1 tablet in the morning and 1 tablet in the evening, approximately 12 hours apart. Do not take tablets at meal times. So if they were adhering, the bottle cap will be open twice a day, 12 hours apart. Okay. Patients were scheduled to return to the clinic every 3 weeks for 4 more visits where tablet counts were taken to compare with the track cap monitoring. So which means during the visit, there should only be 14 pills left because they were given 56, right? So in 3 weeks' time, they're supposed to eat 42. Okay, so that they are left with 14. So if they have been adhering at their visit, there should only be 14 pills in that bottle. Yeah. Okay, now the compliance was measured by the number of times the track cap was open. So if it was open twice a day, that means they have been adhering. The number of days that the track cap was open at 8-hour apart intervals. So this should be 21 days. Okay, so 3 weeks, right, before the next appointment. So in that 3 weeks, there should be 21 days where it was open at 8-hour apart intervals, and the number of pills left at the end of the 12-week period. So this is the result. On days when patients took exactly 2 tablets, mean time between doses was 12 and a half hours, which means they have been opening it at the correct time, and they've been opening it at the correct amount per day, so twice a day. 89% compliance was found. Number of days to track up users at least 8 hours apart. So there has been a high compliance rate, which is 89%. Okay. On basis of tablet count, compliance was 92%. So this is in terms of how many pills was left. There was 92%. There was 92% compliance rate. Okay. Conclusion: TrackCap is a convenient and effective medication monitoring system. So you can check whether they have been adhering or not via using TrackCap. Okay, how many times it was open per day. Now, But what is wrong with this method? Pill counts provide an indication of medicine intake, but it cannot be presumed that all pills were taken, and medication monitors can only indicate when and as well as whether medication was removed from a container. So there's a possibility that they did open the bottle, but they just took out the pills without eating it because they know they are being checked. So there is a high chance that they open the pills or bottle, take out the pills, close it, but not eat it. Okay, because they know they are being checked based on this. Okay,